Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach, and I was going to be doing a video on Conan the Destroyer. That's the second Arnold Conan movie, which I've heard bad things about, but it's just fine. I mean, it doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like an episode of like Xena Warrior Princess or Adventure or Hercules with Kevin Sorbo, but it's fine. Um, but then people kept hitting me up. They're like, are you going to do the Picard trailer? I was like, I think I already did it, or I mentioned it or something. And he's walking around in a vineyard. It's boring. Well, guess what? Picard thinks walking around in a vineyard is boring too, so he leaves. So the whole what if Picard just would have been like this, just like old man, he's working on a vineyard. Oh, they got the wine competition. Oh, but they lost all of their corks. But then there's a young upstart across the. Yeah, okay, yeah, no. Of course he's gonna go into space. When it first came out, I was just like, that's fine, and I was, whatever. And then Midnight's Edge has covered a lot of, behind the scenes problems, crazy. Oh, there is so much corporate craziness with Star Trek and the rights and the production studios and the CBS All Access and now CBS and Viacom. They're re-merging. They used to be the same company. They split, and it caused all these problems. So they're re-merging. Whatever. But anyway, so there's a new one, which I should have assumed because it's San Diego Comic-Con. So this is the CBS All Access. Just came out a couple hours ago. So we're going to jump right into it. Now, some people say, why don't you put it into theatrical view? If I remember correctly, first of all, you get super demonetized like in 2 seconds when you do that. But also, I remember it kept switching back and forth. I kept hitting the wrong button. So, you get to see what I'm really into Screen Rant, pitch meetings a lot, Red Letter Media. I'm not really into Minty. His stuff is okay, but all his videos seem like videos from like 10 years ago, even if they're from like last year. But anyway, let's get into it.
Have you ever been a stranger to yourself?
So, yeah, the vineyard stuff, okay, fine, you got to tie it in. Yeah, he's older, he's retired. I wasn't that interested in it. But this line I thought was fascinating. A woman asked Picard, have you ever been a stranger to yourself?
Many, many times.
So, if you watched TNG and then the movies, you kind of know what he's talking about. Being a Borg and being controlled in different types of ways, or being tricked. But I just find that a very fascinating line in general. Have you ever felt like a stranger to yourself? Because I think almost everyone can say yes to that, and it's going to be completely different situations. So that's just good writing. I don't really care about stuff like, I don't care about nostalgia, like, oh, he's got his communicator. I don't care.
Nearly 2 decades ago, Commander Data sacrificed his life for me.
So here's the elephant in the room. No pun intended. Brent Spiner is really fat. You're going to see him later, and it's literally going to look like a face painted on a watermelon. This thing came together fairly quickly. Originally, they made it seem like no one from TNG was going to be in it. It was just going to be Picard. And we're going to find out. And I think this has to do with the Viacom merger. Everyone's like, no. We want to see them all. If they are still alive, we want to see them. Pretty much everyone. It'd probably be cheesy to have every single one. There's a big surprise here, which I like, even though this person comes from a show that I don't like. But let's keep going on. This is a vineyard. Again, you see drones do all the work. I don't know what Picard does. Of course he's bored.
These past few years, I really tried to belong here. But it never truly felt like home.
So the other elephant in the room that really, really bothers me is I don't think they're doing aging correctly in the Star Trek universe. Now, one thing I didn't know, because Patrick Stewart was just like a couple years older than I am right now when he first started playing Picard in, 87? I think he was like 47 and 87. Yeah, because he's 79 in 2019. is that Picard was supposed to be like 59 when the show started, which is smart. You know, obviously Patrick Stewart, he went bald very young, and so he always looked older than he was. But he's 79 and he looks 79. Now he's more spry than he was in the earlier ones, which is nice. You know, not just for the character, just Patrick Stewart's a very likable person. But I don't feel like you should be this, how do you say it? What's a nice way of saying decrepit? There's no nice way of saying decrepit. What I'm saying is 79-year-old Patrick Stewart is, I guess he's playing, what, like an 89-year-old Picard? I feel like his level of spryness or lack of spryness is more akin to like a 110-year-old Picard. Because people live into their 120s and 130s. We've seen that in TNG. So, I understand. It's just one of those things you just got to roll with. I would have done a time jump. It wouldn't have been 20 years ago was like the movies. And I would have said it's 40 years from now. You would have said, well, everyone's 40 years older. Well, everyone lives longer. And honestly, not to be mean, but everyone looks like shit. So it makes better. It's better to say it's 40 years later than just 20. You're like, oh, jeez, for real? Except for, well, no, I mean, 7 of 9 looks great. But, yeah.
Do you know who I am? Everything is...
I don't know who you are, actually. You look familiar. Were you in, like, was this actress in, like, this art movie that got a lot of acclaim, like, 8 years ago?
Side of me says that I'm safe with you.
Admiral, I have encountered a woman. She came to...
So I watched this on my phone, and when I saw him talk about an admiral, I was like, oh, was it Janeway? But it's not Janeway. It's just some other woman. Is it Admiral Nechayev?
Me for help. If she is who I think she is.
Okay, so this is just, oh God, this is so basic bitch. The 100-pound woman who can do anything and can fight 10 guys. Like, it's so freaking boring. Do you care? Is anyone interested in this? It had been done to death. Stop. Just stop.
She's in serious danger.
I don't know. She's 100 pounds. She's a woman in a TV show or movie. I've been taught that she can fight 5 or 6 Navy SEALs at any one time. Even drugged. So I looked. Those are apparently the Romulan bird of prey. I hate Romulans. Romulans are the worst trash. I would rather have a Tribble miniseries than anything. Romulans suck ass. I hate them. They're the worst. They're so boring.
Sometimes I worry that you have
I
forgotten.
think the only Romulan storyline I ever liked was when Tasha Yar, what was she? She was her own daughter. Whatever, you know, that stupid thing. It was like, what was it? Season 5 or 6? 5, I think.
Who you are. We do not.
You can't do it alone. You need help. You need protection. You need a crew.
So they got the crew of the young, the young crew, which is necessary, of course. I did not want to see Riker, fat old Riker, and fat old Geordi, and super fat Data, and I think Beverly Crusher is still in good shape, and same with Marina Sirtis. Oh, so who's supposed to be in this is, at least make appearances, is Data, a surprise we're going to see in a little bit, Marina Sirtis, Beverly Crusher. I know I'm switching between their real names and their character names. Riker.
Be the captain they remember. She has
So I got kind of excited and I thought that was the Spock, but it's not Spock.
no idea what she truly is.
Yeah, I know the timelines don't match up, but it's Star Trek to have time travel.
She's the end of all.
I, coming off of, Star Trek Discovery, another female who's like the center of the whole Star Trek universe. No, stop. What do you think this is? Serenity? Like, stop. Actually, I like Serenity, the movie. I don't like Firefly, the TV show. Yes. Wonder why. I'll tell you why. It's because the main character, I forget his, Mal Reynolds, he's portrayed completely inconsistently in Firefly, season 1 of 1. He's Han Solo in one episode. He's Captain Kirk in another. He's a total just clown in another. It'll switch back and forth. He has a consistent character in Serenity. Serenity, I think, is excellent.
This is the destroyer.
What the hell are you doing out here, Picard? Saving.
Okay, so I don't like Voyager. In fact, I've only seen a couple of episodes. I think I saw a good amount of the first season where I just checked out mentally. But scene 7 of 9 is freaking fantastic. She looks fantastic. I would call her a 9 out of 9. But they've never met before. I just had to look it up. He's only spoken to Janeway once in one of the movies. I don't even remember that part. 7 of 9 is good. And what are we seeing here? We see a Borg cube. We see Picard and Locutus. And we're seeing 7 of 9. Okay, we got a Borg storyline. So who is the woman who can do anything, fight everyone? Best guess, next level, Borg hybrid, something. So I'm good. Borg stories can be terrible. They tend to be pretty good. They can at times be amazing. And I like this. This seems more focused than what we've seen with Discovery.
In the galaxy.
So we saw someone on a table, maybe autopsy, maybe just sleeping. That's always awkward when you start an autopsy. I was just sleeping. You can't sleep in the morgue. I work here. It's hot. Yeah, no, a hot morgue doesn't make sense. Let's go with it. But I looked it up, and it looks like that might be Hugh from TNG series.
Engage.
Okay, so I'm fine with that, but I don't really like I don't like callbacks. It's just something, but he's not even the captain. He'll probably become the captain later. It's got their own crew.
I don't want the game to end.
That's just. I'm sorry. I know. Oh, geez. Oh, that is so painful. It literally looks like a face painted on a watermelon. So there was a lot of turnover, and he probably got a call with like 1 week's notice. What do you do? You can actually lose a lot of weight in a week from fasting, but maybe he's fully human now. I don't know. It's painful to me.
I can see that, Captain.
Okay. So, this is great. I'm really, really excited. This is fantastic. I thought it was going to be a bore, but I'm guessing some of those meetings where they're like, nobody wants to buy the toys, nobody wants to sell the t-shirts. They're like, okay, let's start. What do people like? They like Borg. The woman who plays 7 of 9, she's in her 40s. She looks amazing. Let's get her in there. We'll get a couple of the other old fat actors in there. It's piecemeal. They got a young, photogenic crew. I like pretty much everything I saw except for the fighting 10 guys thing. Stop that. Anyway, so that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll have Conan the Destroyer tomorrow.